Yo, what's poppin' you guys? It's your boy Andrew, the ecom king. In this video, I'm gonna show you how you can make 100K a day with your own dropshipping business. I guarantee you this requires absolutely no skill and no startup cost. That's right, you can start with $0. I'm gonna take you from A to Z, and if you follow along, by the end of this video, I guarantee you'll be on your way to making your first million. Before we get started, don't forget to sign up below for my $1,000 live webinar. That's only $1,000 for 10K worth of content. That's $10,000 of content you're getting for just 10%. That's 90% off. You're breaking my balls with this deal, you guys. All right, let's go. Okay, that was a joke. Don't leave. When I first thought about making an online store, I did it because I had a genuine interest in making stuff that people would want to wear. I already have a background in graphic design and illustration, so it just seemed like a logical hobby for me to have. The very first thing I did was go to YouTube and look for tutorials on how to get started. I wanted to know what kind of options were available and how difficult it is to set up something like that. What I found was a bunch of 18-year-olds yelling at me about dropshipping and e-commerce and how to maximize profit.
This video, I'm going to go over the exact strategy that I personally used to start up a dropshipping business when I was working a minimum wage job with under $150. I'm going to talk about the whole entire strategy.
This is exactly how I've taken a new store from 0 to 1K.
If you don't know what dropshipping is, it's a method of retail where the creator doesn't actually hold inventory of the product themselves. Each order is individually processed through a third party. This third party is responsible for creating the product and sending it to the customer. So the creator of the store doesn't actually ever hold onto the product themselves. In the case of t-shirts, they make the design, send it off to the third party, and then basically market it. The dropship supplier only charges you when a product is purchased, and that charge comes out of the profit. So it's actually a great option if you don't have the money to start up a business. You never really know if a product is going to do well or not, and this way it eliminates any risk. For someone like me, this sounded like a great option. I didn't really want to spend a lot of time managing a store, and I wanted something that I wouldn't be in the hole if it never sold, especially because the designs I wanted to make are pretty esoteric and I didn't really think many people would want to buy it. But the videos I found on YouTube were not what I expected. Where I thought I would find advice on running a humble, legitimate t-shirt business, what I actually found was a bunch of broy douchebag teenagers who had gamified the entire experience and turned it into a money-making scheme. Video after video would be people telling me the exact same thing. 1. Pick a target demographic, any demographic. Not necessarily something you're interested in or something you care about, just absolutely any group of people you think you can pander to. Then they tell you to go on Amazon and Etsy and search your target demographic and see what the top products are already selling within that demographic. Then they tell you to go on Fiverr, hire somebody for less than minimum wage, exploit their labor to copy the t-shirt designs that are selling best for your target demographic, while making just the slightest tweaks to avoid copyright. So rip people off. And then they tell you to put targeted ads on Facebook selling those t-shirts. So this is not what I was looking for, but it did open my eyes to the lack of integrity that exists within the e-commerce community. I kind of naively expected to find vlogs about people who were excited to start their own business, you know, about something that they cared about and were passionate about. You know, people making designs that they really loved, people coming up with ideas, you know, tips how to be creative maybe. There is none of that. There is not one thought put into creating a new product. In fact, they would advise against this. They only want you to take things that are already proven to sell and then rip them off exactly. Nobody in this community seems to have any issue with this. And as far as I can tell, there's not a single creative in the entire YouTube space for e-commerce. Like, this is an entire culture with no second thought to how it might be, you know, like morally wrong to steal people's art for profit. The more of these videos I watched looking for any information at all, the more I realized how many ads were in these videos and how many calls to action were in these videos. And slowly I realized that even the videos themselves and the YouTube channels these e-commerce people create are kind of part of their scam. Some of these people are shitting out multiple videos about dropshipping a week, and most of those videos have nearly identical content to each other. They all have clickbait titles about how much money you're going to make, or the things you need to know before you start a dropship business. But they're just rehashing the same information, mixed in with like general pseudo inspirational talk about how you need to believe in yourself and hustle. Some people even try to sell you like separate packages that are supposed to include like special information that they're not willing to give away for free on their YouTube channel. And it all kind of just reminded me of old infomercials. They never really say anything, it's not clear what you're getting, but they're playing off people's desire to be happy. And kind of trying to scam people based on how badly, people want to get rich. The entire idea is to monetize this. They play with the algorithm to try to get as many views as possible. That's why they upload so many videos. They have no genuine interest in teaching you anything. YouTube is just another money-making tool for them, just like dropshipping. It all just really got me thinking about capitalism and the way it just taints people. It destroys hobbies that are just supposed to be pure and fun, and makes people do shady shit to try to get ahead of other people. I mean, basically the easiest way to get rich is to be a bad person. But we all kind of knew that already, right? So I started my own store. It's called Pander Shirts, and I sell LGBT merch to tacky gay people. Okay, based on the first half of this video, you might think this is hypocritical. But here's where I feel like there's a lot of nuance to capitalism. First of all, it's the system we're all forced to live in. I mean, the reality is you have to assimilate or you starve to death on the street. In an ideal world, I wouldn't have to take a genuine interest of mine and turn it into a business in order to profit from it. But I think as far as the world we live in goes, using a passion to make a few bucks isn't a bad thing. I've been a graphic designer for over a decade professionally, and I've been doing it for fun since I was 10 years old. And the designs I make for my store, I genuinely have a lot of fun doing it. They're kind of ironic, bad on purpose, but not really, but sorta, kinda. It's very me. And I do wear a lot of them myself day to day, no matter how inappropriate. I'm upfront about the production of the shirts, that they're dropship and they don't go through me personally. I'm realistic about the quality, and I don't charge more than they're worth. I don't employ shady business tactics. I don't take advantage of anyone else's labor. And at the end of the day, it's up to my customers if they want to buy a tacky, awful shirt or not. As long as you're not going above and beyond to take advantage of other people, whether it be through copying other people's work directly or lying about how it's produced, misrepresenting the quality, writing fake reviews, crafting misleading clickbait advertisements, etc. I think it's pretty okay to do considering the system we're working within here. However, since finding the e-commerce corner of YouTube, I've become much more aware of the shady methods other stores are using and better at knowing what to look out for. The truth is, I was always critical of other people's online stores, even before I had one of my own, mostly because I notice a lot of them tend to sell the exact same shirt. Props to whoever was the first person to do that Barbie daddy shirt. And actually the reason my store is named Pander Shirts is because I was making fun of how pandering people are on their dropship stores. It actually kind of started as a joke, but apparently people buy jokes. But now that I've got a store of my own, I'm even more aware of exactly where people are getting their products from. And I find it very easy to spot the ways in which people are purposely misrepresenting themselves. One of the most egregious examples of this I've come across has to be a store called Gay Pride Apparel. And yes, I'm calling out stores specifically by name. What first tipped me off to the fact that they were probably involved in some type of sketchy e-commerce business is that I kept seeing them relentlessly on Instagram and Facebook advertisements. Let's check them out together, shall we? So I started by going to their About Us section, and a few things immediately rubbed me the wrong way. So here you've got a little blurb about how they're a couple, and it's like a good old-fashioned family-owned business. Okay, that's nice. They've got a little business statement here that reads, "We are passionate about the community, and we saw way too many companies coming out with seasonal pride products with generic designs." Wait a minute. Let's go back and look at their designs. So we've got Sounds Gay, I'm In, which is an incredibly generic, repeatedly stolen design for this audience, which is consistently at the top results of Amazon and Etsy for the terms gay and pride. We've got this one that literally just says gay, which I honestly can't imagine anything more generic than that, except maybe the name of their store, which seems more like a working title. Well, basically they just have a host of other designs that I've seen absolutely everywhere. So you saw too many companies with seasonal pride products that were generic, so you decided to make another company using the same generic ideas. Something tells me this might not be your actual motivation to start this business. Then curiously, the very next line says, so we decided to take it into our own hands, parenthesis, literally. Wait, literally? Literally as in the shirts are in your hands? Because I know for a fact they're using a dropship provider by the name of Printful. These shirts do not at any point pass through their hands. They are created by a third party named Printful, and they are shipped directly from Printful's fulfillment factories to their customers. There's many ways for me to tell that this is the case, but a big giveaway is that they have mock-ups of most of their shirts instead of actual product photos. And the mock-ups are the mock-ups that are generated by Printful's mock-up generator. So then why would you say the shirts are literally in your hands? Further down we go. Handmade. Excuse me? It says, we do not source from unethical places and we employ many people in various fulfillment warehouses around the globe. Well, no, you don't employ many people in various fulfillment warehouses. Printful does. In fact, the careers section on their website only exists, I think, to make it look as if they have employees. There aren't no listings here because they're temporarily not hiring. There's no listings because they don't hire anyone, period. Even the photo they're using here, a quick backwards image search lets me know that it's a generic stock photo because they don't have a fulfillment center. So you can see they're clearly twisting this to try to make it seem like they're a more legitimate company than they actually are. They're purposely not being upfront about being a dropship store. And in fact, they're trying to purposely obscure this fact by leading on that they might make them themselves by hand. And they're doing this because they want to present themselves as better than dropship quality, which is kind of fake and dishonest, right guys? So this next section says ethically sourced, which I've done research on Printful for myself. I also use them, and it seems to be fairly ethical as far as I can deduce. But again, they specify that we print our products with care at our fulfillment centers. No, you do not. The dropship company that also has hundreds of thousands of other stores running through it does that. And then they even list the locations of the fulfillment centers, which just so happen to be the exact same locations that Printful has production facilities. And then the next line, fucking get this, everyone enjoys paid time off, healthcare benefits, and a safe and friendly work environment. Bitch, you don't have anything to do with that. They're trying to make it seem like they have employees. How do you even know what that work environment is like? You've never been to the fulfillment center in Barcelona. There's more. Each facility has implemented corporate social responsibility initiatives like LED lighting and recycling programs for paper, plastic, and glass. They're taking credit for the LED lighting installed at Printful's warehouses to try to make them look environmentally conscious. Can you fucking imagine? Besides these significant stretches of the truth, they really do not miss an opportunity anywhere to remind you that this business is LGBT owned. Which, wouldn't you assume it would be? It's not really like a crowning achievement. It's kind of like the bare minimum. It would be actually pretty awful for a straight person to run a store like this. It would be like if I was running like a Black Lives Matter store and like profiting off Black Lives Matter t-shirts. Highly inappropriate. This kind of virtue signaling is all over their site. The header of the store even says, thoughtfully designed for all identities. Sure, guys. It's relentless. Down here at the bottom we've got, we're a couple on a mission to build a community of empowered, authentic, and proud humans. Over here on their sizing chart, it literally says, we do not believe in labels, but the construction of the garments are based on the following unisex size charts. That's a hard virtue signal. We don't see bodies. Small, large, we're all human. Can you lay it on any fucking figure? Their socials are another red flag that says these guys are deep into some e-commerce bullshit. Their Instagram feed just reposts meme gay nonsense that they take from like other places multiple times a day. And they're just doing this so that they'll show up more in the algorithm. Instagram favors accounts that post more often, but none of this content is interesting or meaningful. It's essentially spam. Ugh, this what makes us different one really gets me. We care a lot. We're here all year. Whoa, you sell shirts all year? This isn't like a Spirit Halloween kind of gig? Again, with we're LGBT plus owned. We support LGBT plus artists. Made to order, by hand, with pride, wink. And we listen, adjust, and learn. Oh my God. Here's a post about them supporting small businesses. And 2 of the businesses they've tagged are their other businesses. So I think by support small businesses, they mean support us. You should support us because we're a small business. Oh man, one thing that really gets me, they have this section on their site called discreet packaging, where they claim that in order to protect people who are still in the closet, they ship their packages with no branding. And here's the fucking best part. That's just how things from Printful are sent. Like, it's the default setting. Like, guys, what are you doing trying to frame this as a feature? I even found this tweet where they said they worked with USPS to make it happen. Like, did they? Because it's what Printful does already. Are they just lying? Even the alteration of the name that shows up on credit card bills is something you customize through Shopify. You don't do that through USPS. Like, this shit is just manipulative. So they have their personal accounts linked on the Gay Pride Apparel Instagram, and through that, I was able to find out that this isn't even their only store. They have another dropship store with a Mexican angle, and in all the copy for that, they constantly stress about how Mexican they are. They even pander to what they feel a Mexican audience will relate to. We are 2 first-generation Mexican Americans. Our parents came to this country to give us a better life, and this is an attempt at the American dream. We are 100% family-driven. Our siblings help us come up with sayings, designs, and with customer service. Somebody please check if these people have siblings. This one literally straight up says, we do not source from China and we employ many people in various fulfillment warehouses around the globe. You don't employ those people. Stop saying you employ people. These gays are just dropship hustlers that will do anything to make themselves sound more legitimate. At the core of these businesses, they've just gone through the steps that I listed earlier that you get from all these e-commerce YouTube douche bros. They picked their target audience, they copied the most popular shirts they saw on Amazon, and they took out ads on Facebook. All the copy on their site is written with search engine optimization in mind, which is why they're constantly saying gay and proud and whatever the fuck. And they're spamming social media with empty content to get priority on the algorithm. Like, yeah, whether they're gay or not, you can tell that this is not genuinely written. The goal here is money. They obviously don't really give much of a shit about their designs because they're copied. Sounds gay, I'm in is like the first result on every gay t-shirt search. And they're purposely misleading their audience to make it feel as if they're sewing these by hand themselves. Whether they're gay or not, this is a scheme. If you really cared about your audience, maybe you should misrepresent the product they're buying from you. This is just an example of faux sincerity turned into a sales pitch. I honestly think they'd say anything that would make their t-shirts sell. I mean, how do you promote your dropship store using Stonewall? That's like me saying Marsha P. Johnson would have loved this sweater that says "come" on it. Gay rights. I guess my point here is that a lot of stores like this do a lot of dishonest marketing. And you should probably learn to exercise some cynicism and learn to recognize when a company is trying just a little bit too hard to manipulate you. And also that capitalism is terrible and drives people to do shameless things to make $1. And I think it's very possible to make a store with integrity that doesn't rely on this finance bro, e-commerce douche mentality. Like, if you've got an idea that you're passionate about and you're upfront with your customers about what they're getting, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So don't forget to follow, rate, and subscribe, and head on over to pandershirts.com. We've got the most inclusive and accessible merchandise handpicked from the trending gay t-shirts on Etsy. This LGBTQIA+ owned business is open all year round and is dedicated to helping you live your most authentic queer life, even in winter. As a struggling immigrant, Canada to America, I built this store from the ground up with my own 2 hands, and I spent night after night intricately sewing each and every stitch into these t-shirts to make sure your order is just right. Panda Shirts ships from multiple fulfillment locations all around the world, which I personally deliver to each and every morning on my bicycle. Our fulfillment locations are equipped with state-of-the-art energy-saving LED lighting, which I painstakingly installed myself, to the delight of my many well-paid employees, whose vacation time and benefits I am responsible for. All our packages are shipped discreetly for your own safety, and definitely by choice and not a functional limitation of our dropshipping service. Panda Shirts. Be you. Be proud. Live life out loud. Love is love. You are valid. Everyone is beautiful. Equality. Express yourself. Courage. Stonewall. Trans. Etc. Oh, they're so full of shit.